Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial where I'll be taking you through the steps that I used when I was making this simple pretty bag here. I used slip stitches and single crochets only when I was making these, and later on added this decoration, so as you can see. So for this project here, I started by making or rather crocheting a long piece, like a rectangular piece, folded it into two, as you can see, like it was a big page, and then I folded it into two and I joined the sides like this. Later on added this brim and finished by adding these little tassels here. So for this project I used this thick yarn, the yarn that you normally use when you're making mats. For this one I threw away the labeling, but it was the robin chunky, I think. So I chose this because I like my bag a little bit stiffer. Yeah, I also used a 5mm hook and a pair of scissors. So guys, for this project I'm not going to take you through this big bag, but I'll make an illustration of a small piece. So when you're starting this project, I want us to leave some piece of yarn before we start it. This piece of yarn will help us when we'll be sewing in the edges later. So guys, we are going to start by making a slip knot. You can make your slip knot the best way you know. And then I'm going to make my illustration by chaining 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then I'll add one chain. So we are going to start by inserting our hook into the second chain from the hook. We are not counting the loop that's already in the hook. We'll start by counting this one. So this is our first chain. I'm going to work into the second chain. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do that for the rest of this chain. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So guys, I'm going to be doing that until the end of this row. As you can see, we're going to be doing this. And so guys, as you can see, I'm done with the first row of single crochets. So we are going to begin working on the second row. To do that, I'm going to chain 1. Remember, this chain is not going to count as a stitch. So after I've chained 1, I'm going to turn my work. And for this second row, we are going to be working on the back loops. By the back loops, I mean this loop. And like when we could chain this and then insert it here so that it could cover both the two stitches, the two loops rather, we are now going to be working on this chain alone, the back one. Yeah, so we are going to be doing single crochets on these back loops until the very end of this row. So I'm going to do that. And so guys, I'm coming to the end of my second row. I'll work on the last stitch chain one and turn my work. And so we are going to repeat this second row until we achieve the desired length of work that we want. So I'm going to continue working on my project here until I have 10 rows, and then I'll come back and we'll continue from there. And so I'm back with my 10 rows of single crochets working on the back loop, and now I'm going to take you through how I fold this work until I achieve this look here minus the tassels, how I fold until I come up with this part here. So guys, I'm going to join these two work together like this. I'm going to fold it like that, and then I'm going to join these two sides using slip stitches. So I'm going to take my crochet, insert my crochet hook through this side here like this, and then I'm going to pull this loop here and pull through, and then I'm now going to work through these stitches. I'm going to work through this stitch here, go through to the other side, and then yarn over, pull through, and then I also pull through like this. Insert my crochet through the first side into the second side, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So I'm going to repeat that, guys, until the end of this project here. So I'm going to do that, do that. So I'm done with this side. I'm basically going to fasten off and then cut that yarn off. So I'm going to have my pair of scissors, cut that, and then pull through that just like that, and I'm done with that other side. So I'm going to work on this other side. Remember the yarn I told you to leave behind, it's now coming in handy. So I'm going to insert my crochet like that, yarn over, pull through, insert into the second part, insert like that, yarn over, pull through, and so we are going to repeat simply what we did in the other side is what we are going to do in this other side. And just like that, I'm done with this part of the work. I'm going to fasten off, and now guys, I'm going to turn this work inside out so that you can have the nicer part of the bag outside. You can already see our bag forming, so we are going to weave in this later. So I'm going to show you. You can already see we have our small bag here. I'm now going to take you through how I came up with this brim here. See, I'm going to show you how I achieved that. And so we are going to be working on this rough edge here. So I'm just going to have a slip knot and then have my crochet hook pass through one of these chains. We are going to be working on every row. So I'm going to insert my crochet hook and then pull that through, and have a slip stitch, and then I'm going to be working on every row. So I'll be pulling out, I'll be inserting my crochet hook on the edges, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So I'm basically going to achieve the look I've just shown you here by using slip stitches only. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, have a slip stitch. I'm going to do this all the way around until I come back. Remember guys, this very first row is going to look a bit funny because we are working on a rough patch, but after that, the more you work the slip stitches, the more you're going to achieve the nice look. So I'm going to do that, working on every on the end of every row until I have the desired look. I believe I'm almost coming to the end of my row here, my first row of slip stitches. So I've already finished my first row of slip stitches, but as you can see, it's not so clear. And as I told you, the more we work on the slip stitches, the more we achieve the nice look. So we are now going to the second row. As you can see, we already have these, it's not so clear, I think it's because of the color of the yarn. But I'm now going to start my second row, just continuously working on the slip stitches, and I'm going to insert my hook into the second part of the slip stitch. From when you're facing it, it looks like a stitch. So I'm going to work on the second loop, leaving out the first loop. So I'm going to do this, guys. As you can see, I don't know how I can focus it. It's not so clear, but I'm going to work on the back loops. I believe if you'll be doing the work with me later on and you'll be working on your project, you'll be able to see the loops that I'm talking about. So I'll be inserting the work into the second loops and continue with the slip stitches. And remember not to tighten your slip stitches when working, because you'll always come back to work on them. And from the few steps I've made, I believe you can already see the edge now coming out. And so guys, I think I can now show you the loops I'm working through. You see, when you're having these two chains, I'm not going to work through the two of them. I'm simply going to work through this second chain. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm having my stitches into the second loop of the chain. So I'm going to basically do that until the end of this round. I'm almost coming to the end of my second row of slip stitches. So guys, I've worked 2 rows of slip stitches, and as you can see, you can already have that nice beautiful look on the brim. And so I worked these rows of slip stitches. I think I did around six rounds for me to achieve this look. So the more you go around with the slip stitches, the more you'll achieve this nice look here. So I think I'm almost coming to the end of this simple illustration here. We already have this small bag here. It looks nice, yeah? So I'm going to show you how I put this to tassels, yeah? So depending on how long you want these, I think I'll call them tassels. Depending on how long you want them to be, you're going to have, for me, I used my phone, but for now I'm going to use my hand just to illustrate how I did it. I tied the yarn into my hand like this, and then took a pair of scissors, cut this like this, and then once I had these yarns here like this, I took my I have these you know the crochet you use when making mats. I used that, and then I went into this part of my bag like that, pulled through a yarn like that. You know the way you make a mat. If you don't know, it's simple. You can always use your crochet hook just like that, and then you pull through that. And then once you have your work here, you are now going to just do that and pull like that, and you can have your tassel hanging. And with this small illustration, I believe that you've already seen how I did my project until it came to this whole piece here. And so for the handles, I haven't done it yet, but I believe you can always get a shop where these handles are sold. Make your crochet your handle, attach it to this, and always attach it to this end and this end, and I believe you'll have your nice bag complete. And that is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. Bye.